So hi everyone, welcome to this webinar from Education USA regarding MBA programs. Um, we're having a guest from Baltimore University, and we would like to talk about Education USA. Education USA is a U.S. Department of State network of over 400 international students advising centers in more than 170 countries. And actually, we have 22 centers in Mexico, and our network promotes U.S. higher education to students around the world, and we offer accurate, comprehensive, and current information about opportunities to study in secondary and institutions in the United States. So I would like to introduce Justin. He's from the University of Baltimore, and he's going to give us more information regarding this topic. So Justin, you can start whenever you want.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, so thank you for joining, everyone. I wanted to start off by talking a little bit about our university and our programs. And I will go into information about the overview of what an MBA program looks like, as well as information about the application process. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so in terms of the, if you're looking at MBA programs, there's several different options that you would want to consider, and things you would want to think about in terms of what an MBA program would look like and what you're looking to get out of it in your schedule. So here are some options in terms of the MBA program format and flexibility. There's a number of different types of MBA programs. Some are one-year programs, some are two-year full-time programs. Others are classified as executive MBA programs. You can also do MBA programs fully online or part-time. So there's a number of different modalities and formats for MBA programs. Typically, international students doing MBA programs in the U.S. are doing full-time two-year programs. These programs can basically cover 9 credits per semester. To be classified as a full-time student, you would need to take at least 9 credits every semester. At our university, we have a range of credits. We have many part-time students, so some students are taking as little as 1.5, and some are taking up to 12 credits a semester. As a full-time student, it's going to take you about 2 years to finish the program. You could potentially finish a little bit faster than that, or even a little bit slower than that, depending on how you pace and spread out the coursework. In the summertime, that's usually reserved for opportunities for internships and so forth. The classes that take place for MBA programs can be done on the weekend or on the evening in some cases. At our university, we're offering classes at night, so from 6 to 8:30 p.m. is the typical on-site class time. Online class times are asynchronous. So, for instance, we have some students completing the program from their home country. The time zone you're in doesn't make a difference because the sessions are asynchronous, which means they're pre-recorded sessions. You can access the material, complete online case studies, discussion boards. And there's no live sessions for the online program. So depending on where you are in the world, you can complete a fully online program with no problem. MBA programs will generally range from 36 to 48 credits in length. The reason why there's a variation is because in some cases you may receive waivers for some of the foundation coursework. So, for example, if you have an undergraduate business degree, it may open up opportunities for you to waive out of some of the foundation coursework. If you do not have a business degree, you would have to complete all of the credits. And then you'll see here a 7-week and 15-week format. 7 weeks many schools are having mini semesters or or terms where you have 2 terms within a semester, and the purpose of that is to have give you more exposure to different business subjects within a short amount of time. So instead of doing a 15-week class, you're doing a 7-week class. You may not go as deep into the subject as you would with a 15-week class, but it does give you the option to, or the ability to take a wider variety of coursework throughout your MBA time. At our university, we have 15-week and 7-week sessions, and so the MBA program is kind of composed of both of those. And so some of the classes you'll go a little bit further into in terms of the academics, and then others you'll get more brief exposure in terms of the period of time that you would go through the coursework. So again, those are the kind of flexibility that an MBA program can offer, and you have to consider these when you're looking at MBA programs. What is going to work best for your schedule and for your goals. All right, let's move on to the next slide. These are 6 core themes. The themes at every university are going to vary depending upon upon the school, and in general, people are pursuing MBA to improve their business acumen, technical skills, leadership skills, management skills. And when you look at the themes at various universities, you'll see some commonalities, but also some differences. But overall, MBA programs are designed to help you move ahead in your career or even change careers, because a lot of the skills you would learn in an MBA program are transferable. And so regardless of the business or discipline you're coming from, whether it's government, finance, nonprofit, healthcare, whatever it may be, having an MBA degree can and will be valuable to your career progression. You're going to be coming away with these type of skills that you see here under the 6 core themes, which are a broad set of skills, but very applicable and relevant and and practical as well. I mean, these are skills that can be immediately applied to your work, and regardless of your profession. And so this is the type of learning that you will come away with after completing an MBA program. And again, these vary from university to university, so it's something you would want to look at in terms of what kind of academic learning you would receive. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Here's a structure of our MBA program at UB. This is very similar to the structure at most universities in terms of the sequence. Initially, you come in and you complete the foundation coursework. That's more probably at an undergraduate level, the type of work you would have done with an undergraduate business degree. Again, the foundation coursework is something that in many cases can be waived if you do have an undergraduate business degree. In the case of our university, it's 12 credits in length. Then you move into the core and potentially more flexible core work, where you would complete a set of required courses, and then ultimately you would choose a specialization. So we'll talk a little bit about what types of specialization schools are offering, and then what kind of coursework you would complete as an MBA student in the next several slides. Okay, you see here, this is the foundation work. You're going to be doing courses such as accounting, economics, finance, operations, statistics, these sort of foundational business courses, and then move into a more advanced set of similar coursework with some added options such as business analytics, marketing strategy, performance management. So you're doing the same sort of courses, but more at a more strategic level, at a more advanced managerial level, which will enable you to lead. And so these are these are the type of skills and core business strengths that you will come away with by doing an MBA. And so, you're going to be able to integrate these different business disciplines and see business from a holistic perspective. All right, let's move on to the next slide. MBA FlexCore work. In a case of UB, University of Baltimore, we have more of a flexible set of core courses where you can pursue a corporate track or a more entrepreneurial track. There's many students, looking to do MBAs for both reasons. Some want to start their own businesses, and others want to work for large corporations. And so that's the reason why there's some flexibility with a portion of the MBA core work. That flexibility will be available in terms of finance, in terms of management, in terms of, you see on the next slide here, marketing, and also in terms of operations. And that's something that's unique to our university. That's like the option to pursue a flexible entrepreneurial versus a corporate track. But if you look at the specializations we have listed here, these are very common amongst universities. You'll often see finance and marketing. You'll see management. International business, organizational learning, and so this will give you a good kind of overview of what your options would be to specialize. We recently revised our specializations at UB and added several additional specializations. One is called digital business. The other one is called business analytics. And another one is called cybersecurity and organizational resilience. We've also revised our finance specialization. It's added some new courses. It's now titled Managing Financial Performance. And so there's constantly, these specializations are meant to be relevant to what's needed in the marketplace in the real world. And so that is it's important to consider what kind of courses are available within each specialization. If you go onto any school's website, you usually can view the list of courses that are offered within the specialization. In this particular case, a specialization will require 9 credits, which are 3 courses. So that's not a huge amount, but if you're doing a MBA program that's 40 credits in total, the specialization is going to be about 25% of your total MBA coursework. So it is important in terms of a factor to consider when looking at MBA programs. You see here there's an option that's customized at the first option under the specializations. Customized basically means you're not selecting a particular specialization, but you're picking and choosing from multiple disciplines. So you may take one finance course, one marketing course, one public sector management course, and that will all depend upon your career goals and your position and what you're looking to gain out of education. And so you often in some cases we have a very flexible program at UB, and so that's one of the reasons why we give you the option to customize your specialization. All right, let's move on here. We'll talk a little bit about the application and financial aid process. It's pretty standard across all universities. You're going to need to submit an application, transcript, GMAT or GRE, an essay, and recommendation letters. And in many cases, you'll also need to submit a resume. I think in terms of priority, you'll want to first go online onto the school's website and submit an application. Next step would be to submit transcripts. Transcripts would need to be evaluated by an international transcript credentialing agency. Most schools are I'm speaking from my school's perspective. We work with a company called WES, World Educational Services, who a pretty big company. They specialize in transcript evaluation services. So they'll basically translate your transcript from your local language to English if it's not in English. They will also translate the GPA equivalency to U.S. Standards, and they'll also translate or display the equivalency of the degree. So if it's equivalent to U.S. bachelor's degree, that will be noted. So that's why the transcript evaluation is needed. That can be done on a course-by-course basis, so that we can see, a B grade, at your university is equivalent to a B grade, for example, at our university. And so that the transcript is very important in terms of making decisions. For graduate programs, you're required to achieve or maintain a 3.0 GPA to graduate from an MBA program in most cases. So many schools look for you to at least have a 3.0 GPA coming in from your undergraduate studies. That's not a requirement speaking from our case, it's not a requirement, but it is something that does help if your GPA is at least 3.0. If your GPA is below 3.0, we look to balance that off with other strengths within your application. Additionally, GMAT GRE, that is a standardized test that's required for most MBA programs. We do have several waiver options that would be to waive out of the GMAT, and if you look at the link that is on the top of this PowerPoint slide, you'll see the GMAT waiver policy, which provides some options for waivers. One would have to do with whether or not you have a prior master's degree. Having a prior master's degree may qualify you for a waiver. Another waiver criteria would be having a professional certification of some kind. Another potential waiver option would be based upon your undergraduate GPA, having a 3.0 or 3.2 in a specific discipline from an AACSB accredited school, or from a quantitative background, a degree with from a quantitative area. And so there's different criteria that we look at. One has to do with work experience. We have many students who have worked for a number of years and have work in senior level positions or specialist roles where your work experience may qualify you to waive out of the GMAT. And those are all looked at on a case-by-case basis, interviews required for people requesting waiver due to work experience. And then we have an additional waiver possibility or pathway, and that is with our Business Fundamentals Certificate Program. That is the equivalent of the foundation coursework for the MBA. Students who are entering or applying for the certificate program, which can be done fully online, who successfully complete the certificate with a B or better in each course, could then move into the MBA program without the GMAT requirement or GRE requirement. And so those are the main things we want to think about. If you're an international student, you're also going to need to have completed or taken the TOEFL or IELTS exam, English proficiency test. IELTS requires that you have a 6.0 score for UB, and then for the TOEFL exam, you need to have at least a 79. This is pretty standard across most universities. You would need that as a minimum. In many cases, it could be higher. But those are the scores that most universities look for as a minimum. In terms of another application component would be your personal statement or essays. That's going to vary from school to school in terms of the number of essays or number of words that you need to put into the essay. Speaking from my perspective, we require that you have a one-page essay, or no more than one page. The purpose is not the length necessarily, but we do want to look at your writing skills, and we also want to understand your reasons for pursuing the degree, why you're pursuing the degree, how you feel our school in particular would help you to be successful professionally. And so that's something you want to consider when looking at all schools is, you want to learn as much about the school as you can so that you can uh, speak to that in your personal statement. And then the other component is recommendation letters. You want to submit recommendation letters from people who are in the position to talk about your skills and your ability. And your could be academic wise. It could be from a former professor. If it's employer related, it could be from a current or former supervisor. Um, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone you report it to, but it could be a colleague. But we want to receive recommendation letters from people who are in the positions who can comment on your work, who have observed your work, either worked with you in a team or worked with you on a project. All right. So that's a little bit about what is required in terms of the application. I know many of you may be interested in financial aid. There are a lot of opportunities for financial aid. Many are external. You'll see a link on this slide for international student financial aid and admissions. And if you go through that site, you'll actually see some additional external resources that may be good for research in terms of external aid. But the costs for tuition can range from school to school. We charge at UB per credit. Other schools may charge per academic year or per semester or per program. So the structure and the tuition can vary from school to school. The number of credit, if you're charged by the number of credit, you just have to calculate the number of credits that are required for the program by the total per credit cost. Let's see. So at UB, we're providing about $3,000 average scholarship for students, and we also have graduate assistantship positions available that provide full tuition coverage, and those are work-study positions, 20 hours a week. You work for the school on various projects. It's like an internship, and it does cover the full cost of tuition. Those, you're eligible to apply for those after you've been admitted to the school and before, the start of your first semester. We usually open those up 1 month before the start of the semester. And the semester begins either in September or begins in February. So we have 2 start dates for most international applicants, either starting in the fall or starting in the spring. And then, again, in terms of financial aid, if you do take the GMAT and the GRE, it does open up additional opportunities for you to receive financial aid or scholarship because, with a high GMAT or GRE score, it just creates more opportunities for scholarship. The other factor for scholarship is going to be your GPA, your undergraduate GPA. And then the third that I just mentioned is our graduate assistantships, which provide full tuition coverage. And to qualify for those, you just need to you need to be admitted to the school, and then we post those through our Career Center, University Career Center website. So that's a great opportunity to gain work experience as well as receive tuition coverage. Rolling admission. Many schools have a set admission deadline where the committees will then review all of the applications that came in over a certain period of time. We have a rolling admissions process at UB, so we're constantly reviewing them as they come in and giving you decisions within about 2 weeks after you apply. For international students, you would want to apply early prior to the start of the semester to make sure everything would be in place for you to begin your studies. That's and then additionally, if you apply early, it does you have a better chance of receiving scholarship because the scholarship money can be given out at a certain period of time, and once the money runs out, then you may have less opportunity for scholarship. So applying early is important. For any questions, I have my email. If you have questions about the application process, I'm happy to answer those for you or connect you with the International Admissions Office or or the recruitment officer. I have a couple additional slides here that I want to briefly speak about, so you learn a little bit more about our school, in case you're interested in looking at an application. There are, MBA programs, MS programs, certificate programs. This will vary from school to school. These are the programs that we're offering. In some cases, you'll see schools with a master's in management and a master's in marketing. We have those specializations. We have a management and a marketing specialization, but those are within the MBA program. Our more popular degrees are the master's in finance, master's of accounting, and the MBA program is our biggest program. There's also some certificate programs you'll see here on the right. The Business Fundamentals is a component of the MBA, so that's the foundation coursework for the MBA. So we have some students without an undergraduate business degree that prefer to enroll in the certificate programs and then move into the MBA program after they've completed the foundation work. All right. So gives you an idea of what the options are. MBA degrees are very valuable in the marketplace. It's probably the most well-known degree, and they're very transferable from industry to industry and job to job because they do require general management and leadership and business technical skills that are applicable to all industries. So that's why MBA is well known amongst employers, and is probably one of the most practical degrees in terms of management and leadership. Some of the master's or MS programs are very specific to the area you want to focus on. So they're great as well. The benefit of those is that they're shorter term. You can finish them a little bit faster than MBA, therefore lowering the cost a little bit. But they're more specialized. They're not necessarily geared towards leadership and management, but they're more specialized. So they're great for if you're very focused and you want to know and you want to move into a particular area. They're great for building up your technical skills. Okay. Next slide here. A little bit. I've got a few more slides here. 2 more slides about our school. One is this gives you a general overview of what our school does. We've had MBA programs since 1971. Over 400 MBA students, 600 grad students, and in the graduate business students. The online MBA, has been recognized globally. And in 1999, we launched the world's first fully online AACSB accredited MBA. In terms of student diversity, we're top in the state for that. We have students from all age ranges, professional backgrounds, diversities. So diversity is a strong point of our university, and we've received recognition for that within our state. Our faculty is something I do want to mention because we want to look at that when you're considering schools. It's important to go to the website of the school you're applying for and to read a little bit about their faculty, read through some of the profiles of the people working there, get a good understanding of what their backgrounds are, research interests, professional experiences, because that's the kind of expertise that you're going to be gaining, and so you want to make sure that the faculty teaching at the school have the kind of knowledge and experience that's going to help and benefit you. So several of our faculty founded some of the world's top journals, including the Production and Operations Management Journal and the Entrepreneurship Theory and Practice Journal. Let's see here. We have over 27,000 alumni, which comes into play when you're graduating. You're looking for positions. You have a good network of people to connect with, and so the alumni network is important. We have many notable alumni that are in senior or executive roles within some of the regional businesses. The former mayor of Baltimore is our current university president. We have a lot of connections with the business community in this region. We're about 45 minutes north of Washington, D.C., and conveniently located right next to the main train station in Baltimore. Academic-wise, and one other thing, I mean, we're close to a tourist section of the city. We're in the arts district of Baltimore, so there's a lot of cultural events and activities here. There's a symphony down the street. There's a lot of restaurants. We're close within walking distance from the Inner Harbor, which is a great area within the city. So it's a great location. Academic-wise, we've gone on some global study tours. Um, Last year we went to Ghana, Thailand, and Greece. This year we will go to um, uh, Japan, China, and France. And those are short-term study tours, 1 week or 10-day study tours that can count towards credit towards your MBA degree as elective credit. So you're getting some global experience, working on projects, seeing local businesses within these countries. So we have a very, global nature to the program. Not only with the faculty background, the faculty, work and do research and are from very different countries. So it's very international learning in terms of the way the information is delivered in terms of the coursework. It's delivered from a perspective of people who have done a lot of research and work internationally, and so that's one of the benefits of the academics here. There's also a Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Many students are looking to start businesses, so we have a center here that's a free service, a free component of the program that provides workshops and seminars and counseling services for students looking to start businesses. So we have a kind of an entrepreneurial kind of focus to the school as well. There's also an Achievement and Learning Center, which is a tutoring service that the school provides. And that's for math, writing, and language. So that was my final slide. And if there's any questions regarding anything I discussed, feel free to ask me. Thank you.
Okay, if you have any questions, please, it's the time for do those. And anyone? Okay, I wrote the email from Justin and the chat room. So if you have any questions, please contact him. And
Okay, great. Yeah, you definitely feel free to reach out.
Okay, and well, it was a dual degree program. I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Oh yeah, there was well yeah, we have several dual degrees. We have a dual degree with the law, MBA, that should actually say MBA law degree. Then there's the MBA Masters in Nursing, and then with a pharmacy, doctorate in pharmacy. So we have several dual degree options for students interested in those other programs. And the dual degrees basically allow you to complete both degrees, but minimizing some of the credits, because some of the credits will be waived and transferred over to the other program. And so by doing a dual degree, if you're interested in doing 2 degrees, doing them in a dual degree format kind of expedites your requirements, so you finish a little bit faster than you would if you were to do them separate.
Okay. And okay, I have a question about tuition. You were saying that it's charged by credit, right? Is there any university fees or extra fees for tuition? in this case?
Yes, there's a per credit charge, and then there are some fees that are charged per semester.
Okay.
And so I mean, you would, it's going to take about at least 4 semesters for you to complete the MBA program. Could be longer, but each semester, um, you could probably. I don't want to give a specific number because I don't know for sure. I don't have all of the data in front of me, but it's approximately $500 in fees per semester.
Okay.
In addition to the per credit tuition. And so that is something that's all posted on our website. And that changes from school to school. Some schools have very high fees. And in some cases, fees could be even higher than the tuition. In our case, the tuition is the main expense, but there are some additional fees that you need to consider.
Okay. So that's the only question that I have. For my
We do
part,
have. Mhm. I was
go
saying
ahead. No, go
we do
ahead.
have you know an application waiver code. So if I do get questions later, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to provide you with the application fee waiver code, which will allow you to apply at no cost. And again, regarding the application, I see you're getting ready to speak a little bit about that, but
No,
we
no, no.
some of the application information could that we require at our school um, could be waivable. So, I think as I was mentioning earlier, certain information is required, the application itself along with your transcripts. Um, once you get those two things in, the application and the transcripts, we can then kind of have a conversation with you about the next steps. But the other information I mentioned to you, you know, GMAT, TOEFL, we definitely need your TOEFL or IELTS test score. But GMAT could be waivable. In some cases, we're able to waive one of the recommendation letters, depending on the other strength of your application. Resume is usually optional, but we prefer to see it because it does add to the help. It helps us to know who you are and get a better understanding of your background and your potential for future success. And personal statement doesn't have to be long, but it does, it just does have to be to the point in terms of us helping us understand why you want to pursue the degree with our university and what you hope to gain out of it to help you professionally. So that's just our perspective on the application material. But we each person who submits, we look at it as an individual on a case by case basis. So and so the guidelines, these are the guidelines and the requirements. But if there's any questions you have as you go through the application process, we can work with you on anything that comes up.
So the advice is contact you once they start the process.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. And we have some admissions counselors who, as well as myself. But yes, we try to work with you through the process just to answer any questions, make sure you're submitting the right documentation, and then you get through it in a timely manner. And by the time you're finished, you kind of have a general idea at that point as to whether we would be admitted, um, because you would have been in contact with us and we would have given you feedback through the process.
Okay, sounds perfect.
Okay.
Well, thank you for providing us all this information and for being here today. I don't know if you want to add
Mhm.
something or anything.
No, that was it. I think everything I wanted to cover. And again, I'm happy to answer any questions you have, or if anyone would like to speak with me, through Skype or has any questions, I'm happy to direct you to the right person if I don't have the answer to your question. But yeah, feel free to reach out.
All right, I wrote the email on the chat room, so it's available for everyone.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. And then continue with the webinar. We have the Education USA Center. It is located en Sonora. Es en calle Guerrero, número 39, entre Boulevard Luis Donaldo Colosio y calle Sonora, Colonia Centro. Aquí está el sitio website, que es Facebook Education USA Sonora, Twitter también, y también teléfono. El nombre del contacto es Vianey y pueden contactarla a ella. También, por mi parte, estamos en Education USA Ciudad Juárez y aquí les comparto toda nuestra información. Estamos en Facebook, estamos en Twitter, tenemos Skype, mi correo electrónico, tenemos canal de YouTube y nuestro Eventbrite para eventos que tenemos en Ciudad Juárez disponibles. Pues sería todo. Muchas gracias and thank you, Justin, for being here today.
Okay, thank you. Okay, bye.
Bye.